Hello, ladies. Happy day to you. So excited to be with you here. I just have a few minutes because I am hopping on another call, but wanted to talk a little bit about DIYing, the method that I teach, because I know a lot of you are kind of DIYers, which is cool. One of the reasons why I started sharing in the ways that I share for the last, I guess, 5 months or so in this Facebook space and on this YouTube channel, if you're subscribed to my YouTube channel, is because I know a lot of women want to kind of do it on their own. A lot of us are DIYers and like, I'll put together my IKEA furniture and I'll read the book and figure out how to do it on my own, right? Which is super cool. And so you'll notice in my posts since October-ish, I'm telling you how to do what it is that I do, because I don't want there to be a barrier of your time, of your money, of your energy, of you're pregnant, whatever it might be in your world, because your transformation matters. Your transformation matters. So hello, if you're new here, welcome. I'm glad that you're here. My name is Jenny Glick. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I'm a certified sex therapist. I'm in this space and have been for 2.5 years now. I beat I showed up here doing online stuff and working with women in a real contemporary, very different way before everybody was forced to because of what's happened the last year. So it's, such a pleasure and a privilege of mine to be in this space, to be able to not only share much more broadly what I know works in order to change yourself so that you can change your marriage and you can have a life that's more aligned with you. What's exciting about it to me is that now more than ever, it matters. Right now more than ever, we're recognizing that later is simply not an option. It's just not an option. The women who I work with are sophisticated, they're intelligent, they have insight. Many of them are therapists themselves, healers, nurses, surgeons, doctors, CEOs, attorneys, mothers, Waldorf school teachers. They're women who are empowered and have such insight and who recognize on a really deep level that until or unless they learn how to be with the stuff in them that's stuck, nothing in their relationship will change. They will stay stagnant. And, what we know is true, and I just had a graduate call in my graduate space. So again, those of you who are new here, I have an 8-week program for women around relationship mastery. And one of my favorite parts of the program, there are many, is once my clients graduate from the 8 weeks, they go into a private Facebook space like this one here, except for it's only for women who've graduated. And it's a complimentary offering that I provide, and I do a free training in there every month. So I've been doing that for 2+ years now. And so I get to keep up with the women who've done the 8-week program with me. And I get to see them and I get to hear what's happening. And here's what I hear and see all the time. Number one, they recognize, like all of us do, that we can learn tools, we can change ourselves, we can shift our identity, right? And then life continues to happen. And so their practice is to stay the course, I think of this a lot like Weight Watchers or doing an at-home fitness situation or trying to, run a marathon, whatever it might be that you have. We know that if you have a goal, you do better if you have accountability, if you have a community. And so I get to see these women and their beautiful faces on a private Zoom call once a month and see where it is that their life and their light is taking them as they come more and more into more authenticity with themselves, right? Because that's what this is all about. It's not about fixing your marriage. It's not about saving your marriage. It's not about bringing more passion to your marriage, though all of those things might happen, right? Ultimately, what it's about is you becoming the highest version of yourself. And even becoming isn't the right word, because you're already that. You're already that in your heart, in your essence. You already are shiny and bright. It's just that we have a lot of twisted, contorted learning, history, scar tissue, old practices, hurts that haven't been repaired, protective practices that we're embodying. There's just a lot of stuff, right? And so what we're doing, what I do with women, is help them unlearn all of that reactivity, help them learn how to feel, how to decide what their emotional state will be. Those are two different things. You can watch other videos and read other posts to hear more about that, so that they can keep pivoting into a soul-centered, a much more aligned version of who it is that they are and who it is that they want to be in their relationship, in their marriage, as a mother, as a caretaker of their aging parent, as someone who is an entrepreneur, as a citizen on this planet, right? Like, ultimately, that's what it's about. And so for those of you who are DIYers, and I've had a lot of people, women, say to me, oh, have you written a book? Can I buy the book? You know, is there something else? Because again, maybe they don't have the time or the resources or the energy to do the more intensive 8-week program with me, where I'm talking to you 2 or 3 times a week, where I'm really in your business. So you get to have me and have our community, and just it's a really enriching and somewhat intense experience. And so next week, I will be sharing and launching something that I haven't really launched publicly to address the needs of those of you who are more DIYers, who want access to more of this information. And so if that is you, I'm going to put a link in the bottom of the comments here. Make sure that you're on my email list, because that will be going out by email next week, probably midweek or so that you can take that opportunity if that's for you. A couple of things, if you're going to DIY it, and I'm going to be straight with you, the reason why I haven't offered sort of a DIY version is because I know for most people, not for all people, for most people, in order to get success, we need community, accountability. We need someone who can hold the vision for us when we get wobbly. Because the truth is, we get wobbly because life happens. One of the women in my program right now, oh my goodness, in the last 2 weeks, ice storm, evacuation, power outages, sister with COVID, mother with COVID, husband with a potential heart attack situation going to the ER. Like, life happening in a big, real, scary way. Fortunately, she's in our nest. And so she's experiencing being held. And how do we pivot back into a version of herself that's grounded and rooted and loving herself, right? And caring for herself, even when, we say that a lot in my program, how do I show up as the highest version of myself, even when? And highest version of yourself does not mean everything is unicorns and ponies, right? Highest version of you means that your self-love is non-negotiable. It means that you're going to be taking care of yourself first. It means you're going to be really discerning about the fear narrative that you're running in your head, knowing that that fear narrative can take you down, right? So the highest version of yourself is learning how to be awake, aware, alert, conscious, asking for help, having a soft place to land, allowing yourself to grieve and feel sadness without going into the self-sabotage of overwhelm, which again can take us down. And not that we can't be down, like rest. Resting is important, right? And so it's being with life that is your ashram, right? I say in here, marriage is your ashram. Really, life is. Life is going to show up in you how to be the highest version of yourself if you're willing to accept that curriculum. But I digress. So one of my clients who's working with us gets to have that support and that guidance and that community, right? Which is fantastic. And that is working for her. For those of you who are DIYing it, again, put your name on the email list if you want to make sure to get the offer that I'm going to send out next week. Important for you to have a community of some kind. Maybe it's your best friend. Maybe it's your mother. Maybe it's your partner. I don't know who it is, right? Maybe it's your relationship with your higher self. Maybe it's your relationship with a deity or your guides or angels. I don't know what that is for you. But having some kind of accountability buddy really matters, right? That helps you hold the commitment. You have to have the ability to hold the commitment when it feels impossible to stay the course, right? When it feels impossible to stay the course, because it will feel impossible. You know, I mentioned in one of my posts recently that my husband and I are playing around with keto, and I made it to day 3, and I'm like, I'm not staying the course, right? Like, this is hard. My body's tantruming, and I want to eat more, whatever. And it's like, oh, that's the moment that I needed the person who was helping us to be like, oh, remember what your commitment was? Remember why you were doing this? Remember why you're cleansing? And it's like, oh, right, yeah, right? For me, left to my own devices, I'm not good at holding myself accountable. It's why I always have people around me who are helping me, right? Whether in the past it was fitness trainers or a mentor or a teacher or a therapist or a healer, whatever it is, right? To have that container. And as women, okay, now I'm getting on my soapbox and I have like 4 minutes, so here we go. We deny ourselves the gift of the container. And again, please be clear. I know some of you, the container is not a good fit right now for whatever reason. Awesome, great, no big deal. An aside just to address, as women, we will invest for our children, for our partner, for our mother. And again, I'm not talking about my thing. Like, this isn't about me. I just had a colleague of mine reach out, and she said, why is it as women we have a hard time like committing to our own growth? You know, we'll go into debt for our kids' tuition, and it's part of our learning, right? And we all have that threshold. I have that threshold too. I get to a place where I'm like, okay, I'm willing to invest here, but this, woo, wow, right? And again, whether it's time, money, living situation, whatever it is. And so figuring out internally for yourself, is it because I'm not investing in me? Okay, so let me be a little bit clearer here. Am I pausing at the threshold because it's not a good choice for me, right? But I'm saying this is not a good choice for me because I can't hire a trainer to do that for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. But I'm going to commit to that by committing to myself, by setting my alarm, by going for my run or doing my nutrition or whatever it is. Does that make sense? You don't have to invest financially or with time. You will eventually probably need to do time if you want, you know, your business to grow, or if you want to lose weight, or if you want to run the marathon, or if you want to, you know, like there are certain things that like do require our time, but it requires your energy. Right? So if you're not going to invest kind of monetarily with the thing, then it's really important for you then to hold that boundary for yourself so that you get the outcome. So one of the reasons why I have not offered this in this way is I have this belief that my current coach, and this is why I'm offering this now, is like, Jenny, that is a limiting belief that people won't do it if you're not there. That's my stuff, right? And recognizing my limiting belief that without the community, without that accountability, that someone wouldn't commit to themselves. Because the truth is, I have read books. I have done not many online programs without working with the actual person, because for me, I like working with the actual person, you know? But I have read and done all kinds of things, right? And they're inspiring and they move us forward. So if you are a DIYer, amazing. I love it. And if you decide to potentially do whatever it is, again, whether you do this online offering that I'm going to send out next week, or if you're reading my posts, I know a lot of you read my posts and you send me messages or you share in the space that like, oh my gosh, this is working. It's fantastic. I love it. Keep holding yourself committed, right? Commit to you. When women show up and work with me, the investment is healthy. It is a healthy investment. And so when they invest at that level, it's like, okay, game on, game on. And I want you to do that with you, right? And again, I'm not now talking about, doing that with you around something that I offer. I mean, in your life, when you say, I'm going to do this thing, whether it's stay in the marriage, leave the marriage, start a business, lose 5 pounds, gain 5 pounds, run a marathon, move across country, whatever your thing is, I want you to invest with your heart, with your soul, as if you're shelling out $10,000, $15,000, $50,000, $100,000. I want you to do that. Because when the money is in the picture, it really invites us like, oh, am I really going to do this? Am I really going to put this on a credit card? Right? And gamify it for yourself. Like if you're going to DIY something, tell yourself, if I don't actually follow through and do this, I'm going to have to give $1,000 to a charity that's opposite from my beliefs, right? Like get some skin in the game, right? To hold yourself accountable. So you're extraordinary, and I want your extraordinariness to be on full display. And when you do that, it's better for you, it's better for your family, and it's better, honestly, for our culture and our community and our world. We need more and more people and women who are willing to show up in total alignment, in total integrity, grounded and rooted and open, and being of service in the ways that many of us are called to be of service, whether it's in our families, in our business, whatever it might be, and doing that in a way that's filled with elegance and grace and beauty and gratitude and joy, and then feeling all the other things along the way. So thank you for being here with me. Renee, I see your comment. You are on my list, so you'll be getting it. I was thinking about you, so I'm glad that you commented in. And I will see you all next week, and have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for being here. Sending you all love.